Hi everyone. Okay, so I went ahead and these are just I had some book pages that were left over from me doing fussy cutting out of the book, and I glued them onto some paper bag from the grocery store. As you can see, this one is darker than this one, so it's the exact same thing, glued onto paper bag. The only difference is I took the, I just distressed this with some distressed, well, what did I use? It's been so long. The Stains by Patty Pockets stain is what I used on this. So it's just a little bit more vintage looking. So what I wanted to do with these today is to, I think, turn these into some journal covers. So these have been literally sitting behind me against the wall. I have a few things kind of propped up against the wall behind me, like my glass cutting board and my cutting tools and things like that, and they've just kind of sat there. So okay, so I feel like I should do a few measurements first before I just start cutting. Let's see, we've got 11 3/4 inches basically tall by 17 3/4 inches wide. I think I want to get at least 2 decent sized journal covers out of this. So let's see. I might just, because I want to use pictures from this John Derian Sticker Book as my decoration for the cover. So maybe what I should do is, like, see this, or a picture of those trees or something. Maybe what I should do is just kind of measure against the size of my book and then add, I don't know, some room around the edges. Okay, so I don't think you guys can really see what I'm doing here. So I'm just gonna roughly, we'll say, let's go about 1/4 inch on either side. So I'll use this and up here, that for my measurement. Really specific and scientific, right? Okay, so these are obviously not sturdy enough at the moment to be journal covers, so I will be fixing that, of course. But for now, we can use them as they are to decorate them with. Okay, so I've got at least one of these, and then here's my extra, which is too small for a journal cover, but will be really good for journaling cards. So let me measure another one. That same, gosh, this is bendy, so it's a little difficult to work with here. Okay, that's what I need. So mark this one. It looks like I'm going to have several more journaling cards. I'm going to cut this one. No, I think that'll be fine. Have a few more journaling cards that I can make with the leftover of this here, so that'll be good. Find my mark and my other mark. Okay. Well, that didn't work very well there, but that's all right. I think this one will have to be the cover, because I want to cover this edge from the paper bag, from the top of the paper bag, with that that with fabric for my spine. So, okay, so that'll be my cover. I've got 2 great journaling cards here started. Let me just trim that one down and get rid of the extra paper bag from the side of that. Actually, I think this one, let me trim this one just a little bit. Okay. And then I'm gonna, should I just fold this in half? Well, I'll just guesstimate what halfway is on this one and trim that. And actually this edge is not the greatest either, so let's trim that down. Need to re-glue some of that. I think that'll be fine. And then I'll trim this one down. Okay. So we've got some now journaling cards that we can make and 2 cover pieces. Okay, so I want to start with the covers. And first off, I want to find a focal image to use for the front cover. There's just so many things to choose from in this book. This would be beautiful, actually. This would be really beautiful. Yeah, see, it doesn't include this part down here. It's the sticker is just there, which is a shame. But these are talking about birds, so maybe we'll do kind of a bird journal cover with this. So let's see if I can find a bird picture in here. I'll just start from the back and work my way forward. Maybe I'll start in the front and work my way back. This actually would be really cool, but it would take up the entire cover, so I won't do that. That's an idea, but not that one either. I love this picture, but I don't think it's quite right for this cover because this is already a little bit busy. This is busy also, so I want something that's going to be like a focal, just one focal image for this cover, I think. Oh, that would be, I like that. Okay, I'm gonna mark this page. I really like this. I mean, I love these hand-drawn things too. They're just so cool. I'm gonna save these for something different. Maybe journaling cards. Let me mark this page too. Okay, so these are really awesome. These would be really cool. I'm gonna mark this page too. Maybe on the back cover, we'll see. Oh, this is perfect. Maybe for the back cover. really like this too. Gosh, guys, it's hard to choose. Oh, this is really pretty. It's going the wrong direction though. These were funny. I don't know. I'm assuming that that's what these birds do. I don't think I've ever seen it though, or at least not depicted this way. And look, there's some on the roof of, I guess, the barn over there. Also doing that. Must be a mating call kind of thing. Okay, well, I think I've got some, oh boy. These are awesome. The raven. Is this a sticker or is the other page a sticker? This is a sticker. Ugh, and it doesn't include this. Why would they? Oh my gosh. That is my biggest gripe about this book. It's cut off right where that line is, so you don't see the other awesome parts of it. Which I can make it show that or have that. Now this one does. This one includes that. But that's a bummer. That's a real bummer. It's more work for me to have to do that, which I don't really want to have to do. I don't know where I'm going to use these, if ever. These florals are gorgeous. I mean, this whole book. I love this entire book. I'm so glad that I picked it up. It's just really cool. Okay, this is really pretty too. It's kind of more of a parrot though, and I don't really think I want to do a parrot. I don't want a vulture on my book cover. Oh, this one's nice. Thinking about that one. It's an eagle. That's nice. I don't have the right size for that, but I'll use that sometime. Oh, I like this. Okay, and then this one does include the whole picture. I do really like that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna choose that one for my cover. I don't think I want the owls. Although, we'll keep that for the journaling pages, journaling cards. This could be a really good one for the back cover. Did I have another? I thought I had another one marked. I do like that one too, but I think I'll save that for something else. So, okay. I'll do this for my front cover and maybe this for my back cover. I don't know that. Oh no, this is the other one that I had. I like that. Well, these are two separate images. Okay, well, I will decide the back cover later. Did I not mark that? Yeah, I did. It's just hard to find. Push that up. Okay. Well, let me just double check and make sure. I'm thinking maybe on the back cover I want something botanical or something instead of birds. I'm not sure. So that's kind of where I'm not able to make a decision at the moment, but yeah, all of these botanicals would be really cool. God, these are just so cool. That's a pretty little bird too. Okay, here's my front cover. So I'm gonna keep this I guess open over here, but I want to obviously do some collaging behind it, but lightly collaged. Okay. So, recenter this, or somewhat center this again, and start putting some of this down and see how I feel about that. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. It wasn't overly interesting, and you can get the gist of what I was doing by still seeing it, but sped up. But so I had started by layering the packing paper behind it in this way, and I found that it was getting pretty fiddly, and so then soon I'm going to decide to try it a different way. So I'll get rid of the actual paper that I'm going to be gluing it onto ultimately, and I just turned the whole sticker around, and it's still sticky enough that things are sticking to it a little bit, but I'm just going to layer up my papers in this way and kind of work with it backwards. It's a little bit different. It's not a technique I don't think I've done before, but when I turned it around here and was kind of looking at it, I realized, oh yeah, I do actually I like how this is going. So I decided to keep doing it in that way. So I'll go ahead and let you watch how I finish gluing it all together and piecing it together. Okay, well, I went about it a different way, and I don't know. We'll see how it looks here. So, okay, well, I'm obviously a little tall in some areas, so I'm going to trim this down here and trim this down. I'm going to go a little bit shorter, actually, in that spot there. All right, well, you don't really see much of the background paper, but I don't mind that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Yeah, I'll glue this down, and then I think I'll do some messy stitching around the whole border of it. Since I'll be gluing this cover. Sorry for the noise. My kitty cat is getting into a paper bag because he wants my attention. I'll be gluing this onto a thicker surface, cardstock surface or something, to finish the cover with. So, okay, I can see I've got little bits and pieces that need a little bit more gluing attention. Okay, so before I do my messy stitching and stuff, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the same idea for the back cover, and I'm gonna go for this image here for that. So go ahead and just pull this out and do the same exact thing that we did for the front. I might change my mind and switch them, do the front as the back and the back as the front cover, but we'll see. So there's that. I do want to grab this part of the sticker too and make it part of the whole thing. Okay, so we'll de-stickify that. It's really not sticky anymore. Okay, this. I guess it's a little more distressed now. It's wrinkled, but I'll just add to the look. Okay, so yeah, I kind of liked that, how I did that with just turning it backwards and kind of just constructing my background the other direction. So try the same exact method here. Okay, so that's basically glued together. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down onto my background here. And then I haven't forgotten about that extra little piece that I cut off from the sticker, so I'll add that at the bottom as well. Okay, I'm gonna change my mind again. Before I do my messy stitching, I have some labels in here that I think might be kind of cool to add over the top of this. So I'm gonna kind of see what I got. These are Tracy Fox labels. So everyone's very familiar with them. Okay, yep. Oh, there was one more. Let's see. What was that? Hiding down there. Alright, that might be the very perfect one to add, so I don't want to discount it. Alright, let's see. Put this one out. Oh, it's talking about algae. Nope, not that one. I'll go ahead and cut these two out. These will work well. Alright, so those are cut out. I keep thinking this needs to look a little more distressed. So, and then I kind of got the, it feels like it's a little bit crooked to me. This one does. So I'm going to see what this might look like if I just kind of add some distress. Yeah, this is exactly what this needed. Add some distress stain around the edges of my craft paper just to kind of define those just a little bit better. And just make it a little bit older and antique in general. It's a horrible sound, so I will fast forward. Okay, well, that basically transformed our pages. They look so much older now and just really more interesting, I think. So, okay, now I want to kind of fix my kind of mistake a little bit here, if I can, and make this look a little less crooked. How I do that, I'm not sure yet. Let's see. I'm wondering. I've got just some bits and pieces in here. Maybe I can find like a scrap like this would be good. This is from just an old book page. To help anchor my tag. So let's see. Let me remove this straight line here. And ink around this. All right, let's see what this might look like. Do it the other direction here. Yeah, that's exactly what it needed. It just needed a little bit of help with the way it was looking. Okay, so that'll... Okay, so I'm going to glue this down. I'm not going to let it move. And I want to do this before I sew. That way I can just sew around everything and let it be messy stitching that way. So I'll make sure and attach this with the sewing machine at least once and really make it secure. Okay, so there's that, and then let's do maybe that like that. Yep. So if you do something like this where you kind of are off center just slightly, it is fixable. I promise. I kind of do this more often than I'd like to admit. You just kind of got to trick the eye the other direction just a little bit, but I think that looks a whole lot better. So now let's go ahead and add this whatever this is, to this side. I want to make sure and add some of this paper again. Let's see. Well, I inked up the other one, so I really should do this one too. Alright. Let's do it this direction. Hide most of that straight line with the label. Yep, I like that. Okay, so glue that down. All right, so like I said before, I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, both of these, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, well, here are my messy stitched front and back journal covers. So as you can see, you can take these gorgeous stickers and really do something really interesting with them. I do think I will keep this as my cover. I absolutely love it, even though it is slightly off kilter, or maybe it's just my eye playing tricks. I don't know. But either way, I love this as the cover of a journaling page, or journaling journal. I know what I'm trying to say. I wish it wasn't trying to bend like that, but I can easily fix that with just a spray or two of water, and then weigh it down with something heavy for a little bit. And so I will attach these to some other kind of hard surface, and I'm kind of toying with the idea of using some of this wrapping paper as like the border for that. I don't know. This would be gorgeous, but I had this one in mind actually. So I'll do that in another video because I feel like this video is getting a bit long, and then we'll also do some decorating on these journaling cards too. So I guess I have a new journal coming soon. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and as always, I'll see you, and thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.